I made a well-intentioned mistake and now I've lost a friend,
Oh,
but
that's
I'm
terrible.
still trying to understand whether I was manipulated into making that mistake.
Oh.
Some time ago, a messy situation unfolded between 3 people. Me, 32 female, a former friend I'll call Susan, 31 female, and someone named Jade, 36 female. Susan owns a small business. While she was working a separate job at a company I'll call Juicebox, she was allowed to sell her personal business's products on their shelves. Later, after she left that job but maintained a relationship with Juicebox, Jade's bitter ex-girlfriend sent an email to Juicebox accusing Susan and Jade, who used to work there too, of theft. Juicebox asked the ex for proof, which she couldn't provide, but the email still made its way into the hands of Susan's old coworkers. Not long after, Juicebox told Susan they'd stop selling her products, citing low sales, but Susan suspects the email played a role in that decision. At the time the email was sent, Susan and I were no longer friends with Jade, but Jade and I have started rekindling our friendship. Susan and Jade were still not on speaking terms. Jade is the one who told me about the email. I immediately felt like I should tell Susan since it could potentially affect her business, but Jade discouraged me from doing so, saying that telling Susan would stress her out and that Juicebox didn't seem to be taking it too seriously. I hesitated and I didn't tell Susan. Eventually, Susan walked into Juicebox one day and an old coworker told her about the accusation. When she came to me upset and confused, I told her the truth, that I had known, that Jade told me, and that I let myself be swayed into silence out of a misguided attempt to protect her. I apologized sincerely, and I meant it. Susan told me she believed that. Had she known earlier, she could have done something to mitigate the damage, perhaps reached out to Juicebox or taken legal action against the ex-girlfriend. She told me she didn't believe I was trying to harm her, but also said she no longer wants to continue our friendship. It hurt, but I accepted it. What I'm still trying to make sense of is whether or not Jade's suggestion was manipulative. A mutual friend later pointed out that while Jade framed her advice as protecting Susan from stress, it also conveniently kept her own name and involvement out of the spotlight. The more I thought about it, the more it seemed like Jade may have been subtly steering me towards staying quiet, not just for Susan's sake, but also to avoid being dragged into any fallout herself. At the time, Jade and I had just rekindled our friendship, so I was in a vulnerable place emotionally and trusted her guidance. I can't tell if she was genuinely trying to reduce chaos or if she was controlling the narrative in a way that worked best for her. So I'm wondering what others think. Was Jade being manipulative by telling me not to say anything to Susan, or was I just overthinking it and made my own bad call? Thanks in advance for reading and for any perspectives you're willing to share.